Hello, and welcome to Rise and Unwind. I'm Chris Molony. Each week, we connect with people across the country to share ideas, inspiration, and simple ways you can enjoy life right in your own neighborhood. On this week's show, we've got that and plenty more.
Is a nonprofit. We were founded 5 years ago by Airbnb with a mission to provide emergency housing after disasters.
We've got party hosting essentials like these chips here starting at just $2, or maybe some pre-made sides like potato salad or macaroni salad.
Because every season is so different, and it's really a great way for people to watch these couples, how they navigate their relationships, how they navigate their trial marriages, and then when they get back to their original couple, and just kind of see what works and what doesn't work.
So sit back, relax, and let's rise and unwind.
Ever wonder what happens when family, business, and real life all collide in front of a television audience? The latest season of the McBee Dynasty follows one family as they deal with major challenges on the farm, growing families, and some big decisions about the future. Joining us today are Cole McBee and Kacie Adkison from Bravo's The McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys. Welcome to the show, you two. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you for having us on today.
All right, for people who may have just been discovering the show, what have surprised viewers most about life on the farm and everything your family is pretty much juggling?
Oh, I would say for my family specifically, it's probably about how much drama we have on this show. I mean, we're four brothers, and the amount of drama is absolutely insane. But also, last few years has been probably the toughest years of our life. We've been going through the most problems, and obviously my dad's situation has been a really tough year. So just get to see us in our toughest time, I'd say.
And Cole, this season shows you balancing fatherhood, family responsibilities, and the future of the business. What has that experience been like for you personally?
It's definitely been it's been a lot. It's been a lot of weight on my shoulders, but I definitely would not be able to get through it and be able to do this without Kacie, without Blair, without my family. They're the reason. They're my reason every day, and they're the reason I get up, and the reason I'm able to keep going, I guess, and keep pushing through and deal with all the stuff and deal with all the problems while doing this is just because I want to give my family, I want to give my kid and my future kid a better life. And I guess, I don't know, that's just how we keep going and get through all these problems is we do it for each other and for our family.
And Kacie, you're raising a young family while also growing your own business. What have you learned about balancing those two worlds?
It's not easy. And whenever you commit to something like a business, you have to go full in. And I was trying at first to do it out of my kitchen. And then we realized, you know what, that's not going to work. I can't run a business out of my home with my little baby running around. But my child is also my reason behind my business. And I want to just have a successful business and just provide a certain type of lifestyle for her. So, yeah.
And one thing that stands out about the series is that viewers get to see both the business side and your personal side of your lives. Was there a moment this season that was especially difficult or maybe even rewarding to share on camera?
Obviously, with my dad's situation, I mean, we filmed the day of, the day before, the day after. We filmed every single day through that week. And watching your dad get sentenced to prison, which I know people have gone through this and gone through much worse, but it's not fun to go through. It's not easy to go through. It's something that's pretty tough. So that would be, I don't think that would be too much fun to watch back just because we're moving on from that and we've been moving on from that. But I still think that's pretty, that's a lot for a family to put out there, and we definitely put it all out there. So I just hope people, show some respect to the fact that we're going through the toughest part of our life, and we just wanted to put it all out there for people to see. And when we started this show years ago, that was the one thing we all agreed on. We're like, hey, if we're going to do this, we're going to do it. We're going to put it all out there. We're going to show 100% of everything. We're going to be authentic, and that's exactly what we've been. Probably shown a little too much. Probably should have calmed down a little bit in the past seasons or not been so authentic, but that's just who we are, and we're just an open book. So we put it all out there, and we'll just see how it goes.
Also, with so much changing for the family, what do you hope viewers take away from the season of the McBee Dynasty?
All right. I would say I just hope people see, I've been saying this a lot, but to see a family that was going through a tough issue and going through problems, but they stuck together and they grew closer. They got closer as they've ever been in their whole life. And that was the only reason they were able to get through it, was that no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what people were saying about us, no matter what Facebook was saying, we we kept our nose to the grind, and we stuck together as a family, and we're getting through this. And I guess what I would want people to know.
All right, if anybody at home would like to catch up on everything happening with the McBee family, you can watch the McBee Dynasty, Real American Cowboys on Bravo, with episodes also available on Peacock. Cole, Kacie, I really want to thank you two for joining me today.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Some mysteries stay hidden for decades, and sometimes even longer. A new season of Expedition Unknown follows explorer Josh Gates as he travels the world chasing lost civilizations, legendary treasures, and some of history's biggest unanswered questions. One of this season's most remarkable discoveries involves a long-lost World War II shipwreck connected to more than 1,000 missing Allied prisoners of war. Josh Gates joins us now. Welcome to the show, Josh. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
All right, you've spent years investigating mysteries around the world, but this season opens with the discovery of Hofuku Maru. What was it like to be part of a search that carried so much historical and emotional weight?
This is an amazing experience. I'm really excited for folks to see the season premiere. This ship is what's known as a hell ship. It's a part of World War II that myself, and I'm sure many people, really didn't know much about. These were prison ships that were used by the Japanese to transport Allied POWs around the Pacific. And we work with this incredible organization. These guys you see there on the screen, they're part of a group called the Hell Ships Memorial Foundation. These guys have spent years digging through archives, looking for clues as to the location of this ship, the Hofuku Maru. And after 80 years of being lost, their research has led to it being found. So for us to be able to take our viewers there and get a firsthand look at a ship where 1,000 POWs went down is a really emotional thing and a really thrilling expedition that a lot of hard work went into for these guys. And so I'm thrilled to feature their hard work on the show.
And that story of Japanese hell ships isn't really something many people learn about in school. What surprised you most as you dug into this chapter of World War II history?
Well, the scale of it. I mean, there were about 135 of these hell ships that transported, over 100,000 POWs during the war. And many of these ships were sadly bombed by U.S. forces. The Japanese disguised these ships within their military convoys, and so they became unintentional targets for the Allies, making this kind of a doubly tragic story. But the fact of the matter is there are thousands of these POWs still out there that have not been found. And so this is an opportunity to really fulfill that promise of no man left behind, right? And to go and search for them. They've been waiting all this time. So really shocking numbers of people that are still out there and that there are still big discoveries like this to be made from World War II. So really exciting stuff.
And your team helped locate a wreck that had been lost for more than 80 years. Can you walk us through how modern technology and old archival research came together to make that discovery possible?
Yeah, so the real crux of the discovery is the good old-fashioned sleuthing that was done by this researcher, John Dureski, who's part of the Memorial Hell Ships Foundation. This guy went digging not just in the American archives, but in the Japanese archives. And it was the Japanese archives that offered a clue as to where this ship sank. Many people thought that it sank about 30 miles away from where it was found. Using that research, sonar survey was done. A wreck was located on sonar. We then went out and dove down to really get eyes on this wreck and to begin photogrammetry, which is a photography scan of the wreck to really see it from all angles and to kind of bring it back to life in a way. So yes, it's this combination of good old-fashioned detective work and some high-tech tools.
And this season also takes viewers from underwater wrecks to ancient civilizations, hidden tunnels, and lost treasures. Was there one adventure that pushed you furthest outside of your comfort zone?
Oh, I mean, we go to Mexico in this season searching for the story behind one of Mexico's oldest civilizations, the Zoque. They went way out into the jungles in the Chiapas region of Mexico. This is a really wild part of the Mexican interior and huge caves, huge cliffs. So going underground in Chiapas into the world of the Zoque was hugely demanding, but also just about as exciting as you can imagine. Going out into these caves that nobody has explored to find artifacts that have been sitting down there, offerings that have been sitting in the dark for centuries.
And after all these years of exploring the unknown, what keeps you chasing the next mystery, and what can viewers expect from this new season?
I think it's the same thing that had me interested in this when I was watching The Goonies as a kid. These stories are just naturally incredibly engaging. What kid doesn't dream of finding pirate treasure, secret tunnels, lost civilizations? These stories just have such a natural hook and they're real. This is real history. And so I think for me, I'm like a kid in a candy store out there, you know? The opportunity to go and explore these stories it is the thrill of a lifetime. And to share that with our viewers is really what it's all about.
You're also going on a live tour from city to city across the country. What can we expect from your show?
Yeah, so an evening of legends and mysteries and adventure. If you're a fan of the show, it's an opportunity to dig a little deeper, go behind the scenes. And if you're just finding the show, but you love adventure, and who doesn't, it's a chance to listen to some awesome myths and legends and stories. And so folks can get tickets to that at joshgates.com. It may not be listed yet. Those shows will be coming very soon onto the website there. But it will be an awesome evening of adventure for the whole family. So if you have kids that are into adventure, or if you grew up as a fan of Raiders and Goonies and all that stuff, it's going to be a super fun evening.
Josh Gates, I want to thank you for joining me today. For more information on Expedition Unknown, episode schedules, and behind-the-scenes content, visit discovery.com. And for tickets to Josh Gates' live show, visit joshgates.com. Josh, I want to thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Have you ever taken a dream opportunity only to realize something feels very wrong? That's the setup behind Strung, the new Peacock thriller from acclaimed filmmaker Malcolm D. Lee. The film follows a gifted violinist who becomes entangled in the world of a wealthy and mysterious family, where secrets seem to be hiding around pretty much every corner. Malcolm is the director behind favorites like the Best Man franchise and Girls Trip, and now he's taking audiences somewhere much darker. Malcolm, welcome.
Man, I love that intro. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Thank you for that. Strung starts with a talented musician getting what seems like the opportunity of lifetime. What drew you to the story and the tension at the center of it?
When I read Alan McElroy's script, I could not put it down. It just was a page turner. I was talking to it out loud. It was speaking to me. I was speaking back to it, and I just said I gotta dip my toe into this genre of thrillers and this erotic psychological thriller.
You've built a career directing comedies, dramas, and ensemble films that audiences really connect with. What was exciting about stepping into the thriller genre with Strung?
I think audiences still want to see these kinds of movies, and I love the opportunity to do something different and outside of my comfort zone. And not necessarily outside of my comfort zone, but something different that I hadn't done before. And it was nice to not have to cut to the joke, and just be able to tell the story with a different pacing, a different tone. And I want to challenge myself in that regard, get the right cast and get the right crew behind me. And this crew that I've been working with has been a crew that I've been with before and collaborated on many, many things. But to work with this cast was amazing as well.
Chloe Bailey carries so much of the story as Layla. What made her the right choice for this role, and what did she bring to the character?
Chloe, I hadn't worked with before, but I knew about her, and I thought she would be a great asset for this role. And when I saw her, and when we got to talking and we got to know each other a little bit more and work together, I was amazed by what she was able to do, because Layla has to do so many things in this movie and play so many different colors, from being emotional to being vulnerable to being sexy and maternal. And all kinds of colors that she had to play, that I was just like, wow, she really, really brought a lot to the table. And I'm very, very proud of the work that she did in this movie. She's really, really talented.
One of the things that makes this film work is the atmosphere and sense of there's something not quite right. How did you approach building that suspense without giving too much away?
Yeah, the thing is, everybody in this movie, every character in this movie is hiding something. It's most, emblematic by the little girl that she's tutoring, Zuri, with her actual mask. But everyone in this movie is masking something, whether it's trauma or grief or something to that effect. And I wanted to make sure that everything on the surface looked presentable and comely and beautiful and opulent. And so it started with the house. And you see this inviting environment that is a little antiseptic, but just like, oh, it's lush and it's beautiful. But underneath all of that, you find that there's some dark things.
And looking at your career, The Best Man, Girls Trip, and now Strung, what continues to inspire you as a storyteller, and what kinds of stories are you most interested in telling next?
Yeah, I am incredibly blessed to have the opportunity to get paid for what I love to do. and I want to keep challenging myself and bringing entertainment to audiences. That's the main thing. I like to have to entertain people and make them feel good, make them feel emotions one way or another. And in this case, we're taking them on a thrill ride. And in the future, I hope to do the same kinds of things. Whether it's with a thriller, whether it's a comedy or a musical or a drama. I love working with actors and bringing a vision to life for audiences to enjoy.
Malcolm, I want to thank you for joining me today. Strung is now streaming on Peacock. You can watch the film and learn more by visiting peacocktv.com. Malcolm D. Lee, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks, Dan.
Summer is a great time to catch on the shows and movies everyone's talking about, but whether you're at home or on the road, Netflix has packed a lineup this season, plus some features that can help travel and family movie nights even easier. So joining us today is Vanessa Lachey, host of Love is Blind, The Ultimatum, and to share what's coming to Netflix this summer. Welcome to the show, Vanessa. How are you, my friend?
Thank you for having me. I'm good.
That's good to hear. I hear Netflix has a huge lineup this summer. What are some of the movies and shows that you think people should be adding to their watch list this year?
Ooh, well, I'm just excited to talk about all the fun things Netflix that people don't really know about. I get an in because I'm always here and I'm boots on the ground here at actual Netflix. But coming up, we have Enola Holmes 3. That's going to come out July 1st. For the sports fans, the MLB Home Run Derby is going to be live July 13th, which is always fun for people to watch live. The Ultimatum, as you mentioned, season 4, the show that my husband and I do, comes out July 15th, which is my wedding anniversary. What a gift. There's just something for everyone. Oh, Little House on the Prairie is going to be premiering on Netflix July 9th, and it's a beautiful reimagining of the original. But what's so great over the summer is all the features that Netflix has to offer that you just alluded to. They can download a movie or a show or the entire season. There's some really amazing remind me buttons because we all have a lot going on in our minds as it is, so we don't need to also think about when that show is going to drop that they're excited about. And the parental controls are bar none that really make it safe for our kids to be on the app and navigating the app because you have control as the parent. And what's really beautiful about Netflix Playground specifically for little kids is that there's no ads and there's no in-app purchases. So it's just a kid being a kid, playing games with characters they love that are on Netflix, like Peppa Pig or Sesame Street and Big Bird, Gabby's Dollhouse. So it's a really safe place for them to take a break, come in, or if you're traveling, you're sitting on a plane for 5 hours, you can know that they have a safe space to go to.
All right, let's get to that season 4 of Ultimatum. Can you tell us more about this season and what kind of makes it a fun summer watch?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that The Ultimatum is always a fun watch period because every season is so different. And it's really a great way for people to watch these couples, how they navigate their relationships, how they navigate their trial marriages, and then when they get back to their original couple, and just kind of see what works and what doesn't work. Because I feel like so often we don't get the luxury of a third-person perspective in relationships. And when I watch it with Nick, we actually talk to each other. Like, did you see how they handled that fight? Or, oh my gosh, she was doing that. Would you do that? And you kind of clock what works and what doesn't work or what's crazy or what's not crazy. And it's a great way for relationships, I think, to get stronger. Or you kind of see the writing on the wall and you're like, man, this person is like this in the show and I need to run kind of thing. These are red flags that I'm not seeing, but he does the same thing or she does the same thing. So it's great that it takes real life into accountability.
All right. And you also mentioned something about travel and how Netflix can make it easier. Can you tell us about some of the Netflix features or hacks that can make that easier?
I was surprised when I was telling my friends how people aren't aware of downloading on the app. You don't have to have Wi-Fi all the time to be able to access Netflix. In fact, what we do in our household is before we have long trips when we're going coast to coast, flying or whatnot, is the kids sit down and they pick their favorite movie or shows and we download them prior. So I'm at home with my Wi-Fi, my strong Wi-Fi, we've got it on there. And then wherever you are, when you're traveling, it's accessible to you in your profile. So the kids will just click their profile and then whatever they've downloaded is there. And you can take it a step further and do the subtitles. So if you're, on a plane or if you're in the car and everyone's kind of got their thing going on, you can add reading to it and make it an interactive show, if you will. But again, the parental controls that I spoke about earlier, that's just a really big thing that I think is important for parents and for kids nowadays.
Vanessa Lachey, I really want to thank you for joining me today to explore everything coming to Netflix this summer, including new series, movies, games, and family favorites. Visit Netflix.com or open the Netflix app to browse the latest releases and set reminders for upcoming premieres. Vanessa, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Summer fun is great until you start adding up the receipts. Between road trips, backyard cookouts, and higher grocery bills, the costs can pile up fast. Joining us now is Prime saving expert Griffin Buch with a few practical ways families can save money on both food and fuel this summer. Welcome, Griffin.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for having me. That's right, summer is all about having fun and making memories, and with Prime, we're making entertaining more affordable from the grill to the gas pump.
Millions of families are traveling over the summer. What are some ways they can save money at the pump?
Well, from July 2nd through the 5th, Prime members can save 50 cents per gallon on one fuel purchase at more than 7,500 participating BP, Amoco, AMPM, and Thornton's locations nationwide. That's 5 times the everyday Prime fuel savings, just as millions of folks are hitting the road for the 4th of July. Happy 4th, by the way. It's super easy to get started. Customers can sign up by linking their Prime membership with BP's loyalty program, Earnify, or just download the app. You can enter your phone number at the pump and let the fuel savings start to roll in. Go to Amazon.com/fuel savings to learn more.
Grocery prices are still on a lot of people's minds. How can Prime members save on both time and money on groceries for holiday celebrations and throughout the summer?
Well, what I like to do is let same-day delivery do the heavy lifting. Prime members get free same-day delivery on orders over $25 in most areas. And Amazon's got everyday low prices on the widest selection of items, which means the customers can feel good knowing that they've got everyday low prices and the prices that beat many other major retailers. For example, we've got party hosting essentials like these chips here starting at just $2, or maybe some pre-made sides like potato salad or macaroni salad. We've also got fantastic prices on grilling meats and grilling essentials like maybe these ground beef burgers or Amazon grocery chicken thighs, or maybe ballpark hot dogs are more your speed, all under $10. And of course, you can't forget about the summer produce essentials. We've got some corn, we've got some watermelon, we got some berries, huge varieties starting under $4. Truly fantastic prices. But perhaps what I'm most excited about, it's gotta be the deals at Whole Foods Market. Through July 7th, Prime members save 50% on ice cream and frozen treats, whether they shop online or in-store at Whole Foods Market. It's a great sweet treat to wrap up any barbecue or fun summer activity.
For households receiving SNAP benefits, what grocery savings and conveniences are available through Prime?
Well, it's incredibly important, and that's why Amazon offers discounted membership to government assistance recipients and income-verified customers through Prime Access. And this summer, from July through September, Prime Access members will see a $5 monthly grocery credit for use on eligible everyday essential grocery items and orders over $25. That's things like baby food, breakfast items, snacks, and other items. Folks can go over to Amazon Access to explore other ways to save time and money on groceries. And for SNAP recipients, they can use SNAP on EBT eligible items from Amazon.com, Amazon Fresh, and Whole Foods Market.
If you're hosting a barbecue, what are a few menu ideas that are easy on the budget but still fun for everyone?
Easy on the budget, but still fun. I'd say shop based on what's in season. I mentioned corn. I'm putting corn in everything these days. Maybe a nice corn and tomato salad. Easy on the wallet, but still great flavor. Same with maybe some watermelon. It's both refreshing and delicious. It's one of my summer favorites. And I'm putting berries on everything. Any dessert, it's in season, it's fresh, it's good, it's just perfect for the summertime. Folks should also keep an eye out for the freshness guarantee when shopping on Amazon, which guarantees that perishable items like meat, seafood, produce, those items will arrive as expected. Otherwise, Amazon will make it right.
Where can people go to learn more about Prime and Prime Access?
Just go to Amazon.com/Prime to explore all the benefits, and Amazon.com/Get Prime Access to see if you qualify.
Griffin, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hurricane season is something Florida families take seriously. When people have to evacuate, having a safe place to stay can make all the difference. Christoph Gorder is the Executive Director of Airbnb.org, and he's here to explain how the organization helps families during disasters. Welcome, Christoph.
Thanks for having me on. Good morning.
Hurricane season is here once again. What are you seeing, and how is Airbnb.org preparing for what could be another busy year?
Well, you're right. It's that time of year again. This is disaster season. And so across the country, we're seeing wildfires in the west. We're seeing storms and tornadoes in the central part of the country, and of course, hurricanes in Florida and the eastern seaboard. And so this is a busy time of year for us, and we really need to be prepared. The storms are increasing with intensity, with increasing with frequency, and so that's very concerning. I think the good news, though, is that we are better prepared than ever. So the forecasting models are better than ever. The communications tools are better than ever. And of course, Florida Emergency Management does a phenomenal job through all the practice and tough times that you had in Florida. So I think, the good news is we are better prepared than ever, but we can't let our guard down.
Airbnb.org has provided more than 1.6 million nights of free emergency housing since 2020. How does all that come together when people suddenly need a place to stay?
Well, Airbnb.org is a nonprofit. We were founded 5 years ago by Airbnb with a mission to provide emergency housing after disasters. And Florida, we've been very busy in Florida. Over the course of the last 5 years, just in Florida alone, we've provided over 40,000 free nights of stays. Our biggest activity was 2 years ago with Hurricanes Helene and Milton, but there are always smaller disasters that we're activating in. And the way it works is we work with local nonprofits, and they help us identify families in need. And then we house those people for free. And the way it works is we'll transfer Airbnb credits, essentially cash, into their personal Airbnb accounts. And then they can book whatever Airbnb they want. So if they need a wheelchair accessible place, if they want to be near their job or their kid's school, the beauty of it is you have access to the entire network of Airbnbs, and you get to choose the home that suits your family's needs in a time when you've lost everything, or you've really lost control over big parts of your life. And so the system works really, really well, and we can move fast and help a lot of people at the same time.
If someone wants to help before the next hurricane, what are some of the ways they can make a difference?
Well, I'd encourage everybody to jump on our website, airbnb.org, and learn about the program. If you're an Airbnb host, and there's many, many hosts in Florida, obviously, you can learn how to participate in the program. We have tens of thousands of hosts around the world who sign up to offer a discount, so our dollars go further. Their donations can help more people. And thousands of hosts also give 1% or 2% of their proceeds to be able to help pay for stays in other locations. And if you want to make a donation, 100% of all donations that come to us go directly transferred to families in need, because all of our operating expenses are already covered by Airbnb through other donations. And so 100% of donations help people. And you can find out more about this on airbnb.org.
All right, one more time, give us that website where our viewers can go to learn more, sign up as an airbnb.org host, or make a donation.
Check out airbnb.org, and we'd love to have you as a partner.
Christoph, thanks for being here and sharing such important information.
Thanks for having me on, and we hope your listeners never need us, but if they do, we're here to help.
That's it for Rise and Unwind. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to learn more about the show, visit our website at riseunwindtv.com. And for behind-the-scenes moments and celebrity interviews, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rise Unwind. You can also find our full episodes on YouTube under the same name at Rise Unwind. Until next week, I'm Chris Molony. Thanks for spending a little time with us on Rise and Unwind.